Hey everyone, this is Amelia here with the follow-up for my Trigun review. And as you can probably imagine, in this review we're going to be looking at Trigun, Badlands Rumble. So, let's get started. Okay, so Badlands Rumble essentially, as you all know, is a Trigun movie. And where it takes place, I'm not exactly certain. From going through the series, basically when I rewatched Trigun after episode 11, I decided to watch the movie because I figured why not watch it before I see the gun ho guns again. And I don't and I do not regret watching it that way, but when I went through episode 19, I could see it technically taking place there as well, but that would have continuity issues. Then again, watching it after episode 11 has its continuity issues as well. I mean, the way I see it, you can watch it after episode 11 like I did, or episode 19, or by itself. It really depends on you, the viewer, on how you want to watch the movie. But that aside, if you can figure out how you want to watch it, then you have no problems. Anyway, essentially, with the story of the movie, it essentially is about this criminal known as Gasback who was wronged by his henchmen, and so he's basically trying to get his revenge against them. And this revenge, of course, was halted by Vash the Stampede, though then again, any kind of revenge will be halted by him anyway. However, and of course, Vash basically allows Gasback to escape. This in turn gives wrath to the character of Amelia, which I will get into the character session. Overall, the story for what it is, good. It was a good story. I liked what they did with it, so awesome. Now, how about the characters? Basically, somewhere in my Trigun review, my thoughts on the characters of Vash, Wolfwood, Millie, and Meryl, and all the characters that you remember from the series that are in this movie, my thoughts on them are pretty much the same, so I don't really have to talk about them too much. But for what they are, they still have the development I loved. The two characters that are introduced are the ones that I will talk about, starting off with the villain himself, Gasback. Now, he's not the best villain I can see in Trigun. However, before the gun-ho guns were introduced, Gasback was actually a pretty good villain before then, so in my overall thoughts, good job Gasback. And I liked him. Next up we have Amelia, the main female of the movie. She is kind of a bitch at first, and somewhere throughout the midpoint, and somewhat of a bit of the ends. But for the most part, I do like her character, and like Gasback, I think she's developed pretty well. Though I wish she would stop beating the crap out of Vash. That kind of annoyed me. By the way, if you can't tell already, I'm not a fan of females beating up guys like that. That's beside the point. Bottom line is, again, I like her character. The other characters that they have in the movie, really, I have nothing to say about them. You can just view them however you want. Though, admittedly, it was funny hearing some voices on these characters, which I'll get to later. So how about the animation? Madhouse did a great job animating this, don't get me wrong. I love the way they animated it. But I love the old style of I love the older animation that was used on Trigun, because like I've said in my Trigun review, I like the way the grittiness of the animation helped fit the show's tone, both light and dark. However, again, for what Madhouse did on this film, I did love what they had in it, so no complaints. So how about the music? I'm not a huge fan of it too much, but for the most part, I do like this OST, so no complaints there. And like I said with the series, I enjoyed this in the dub. Though like most people who've watched this, while I am really happy they got Johnny Young Bosch to get... I am really happy Bosch got to be Vash again. I really would have loved the old cast to come back. Basically what I mean by this is Wolfwood, for the most part. I wish Jeff Nimoy came back. I'm perfectly fine with Meryl and Millie's replacement voices. And for what they did, I was completely fine with them having new voices. It's Wolfwood I really wish got his old voice back. Not that there's anything wrong with his new voice. Jeff Nimoy, in my opinion, is Wolfwood, the way people would say Bosch is Bash. But that complaint aside, it is a solid dub by Funimation, and minus that part of my complaints, the dub is perfectly serviceable for what it is, and it's a really great dub. Is there any... Now, if there's anything I had to say I disliked about the movie... The only thing I can really think about that I do dislike is the continuity issue, but that's really it. Oh, and like I said, somewhat of Amelia beating up Bash, but really those are the only two complaints about the movie I have, because other than that, I did love the movie. And I would give it 8.2 out of 10. Because of those issues, but it's a solid movie and like the series. I full-on recommend it, and you should watch it if you love Trigun. Because, also on a side note, when it comes to the movie, again, you can either watch it between the series, you can watch it after, or hell, you can even watch it before you actually watch the series to give you a feel on would you enjoy Trigun or not. And the movie does that serviceable, so that's a recommendation for me there. Alright, so that essentially ends this video, so until then, this has been Anime7, and I will see you all next time. Love and peace! Okay, sorry, I had to do that. Later.